All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is STORMYBMAN capturing the post-fight comments on this evening's events. And I have with me my right-hand man, Hyphy. What's good with you, Hyphy?
Oh man, over here, just really love flowing. Had a good, really good fight tonight. So like the whole night, you had I seen some really exciting fights tonight. So I'm just very satisfied, man.
Yeah, it was an awesome evening of matches, and I think we were treated to a special performance with the big match of the evening. With Jarrett Hurd and Julius Williams. What a fight, man! I mean, I'll let you. You know, Hyper, you said that you thought that Williams might be primed for an upset, and I give you 100% credit for that. But give me your take on what you were witnessing as that fight unfolded.
Okay, well yeah, the reason I texted you right before the fight so you could attest to this. I texted you and I told you I felt that I had J-Rock by split decision, and I just realized I didn't get a chance to give that prediction on your show because I had some technical difficulties on a Friday night. But see what I seen in J-Rock, a lot of people like to say they were saying, oh, he was chinny because he had his losses by a knockout. But my thing is, how can you say he's chinny, but at the same time, everybody going around saying, oh, Jamal has so much pop and power. So it's like, is he chinny or is Jamal this huge puncher that most people say he is? Second of all, even to this day, I haven't seen a punch as beautiful or just special that Jamal landed. This dude, he parried that with an uppercut. I mean, countered it and landed with the same punch. So J-Rock is a good fighter. I just feel, hey, and even in that fight, he was fighting real good. He just got caught. So I just knew this dude was a good fighter. And I believe that he had the mentality to come back after a defeat. Like, he would just shake a defeat off like it never happened. And his inside fight game, I've been telling people, this dude, he's a fighter who knows how to fight inside, not just willing to fight inside. He knows how to fight inside. And, sometimes he's fought inside too much and made fights tougher, but tonight his IQ was on point. He fought that fight real smart, similar to how Clarissa just stepped up her game and she fought like damn near a perfect fight. I feel he did the same thing. He just fought very smart for the whole fight. He didn't take a second off. He fought very smart. So in his style, I just thought he was going to win. That's why I told you I thought he was going to win, and he actually won easier than I thought.
Yeah, his inside fighting tonight was very impressive, but it was also tremendously telling on Jarrett Hurd because that defensive posture that Jarrett Hurd adopts is exactly what I've been saying in most recent streams about fighters keeping their hands low and also, not guarding their face, not guarding their head, not guarding their chin. And J-Rock and his trainer, they knew this, but as I text you in our conversation earlier prior to the fight, I said he's gonna have to get in that good body work. Didn't I say that?
Mm-hmm.
And he did. And as a result of that good body work, he put Hurd in a position that he had never been in before. See, people always been trying to hit Jarrett Hurd in the face and the head, but nobody has really gone to his body like this gentleman did. And what he did smartly was he was able to go to Hurd's body with close, hard, short shots. But Hurd wasn't able to counter that because he couldn't get the same leverage on his shots. So J Rock's he was able to fight at a particular close proximity that Hurd wasn't able to be effective as. And instead of stepping back, boxing, and using a boxing IQ, Hurd elected to try to fight. So he got taken out of his own fight. Masterful ring generalship by J Rock and his corner. They knew exactly what they were doing. They had a heavy early emphasis on throwing left hooks and left hands because they knew that Hurd would be waiting on the right. So he worked the left to such a degree that he even dropped Hurd with a left. You see, this is how you know when somebody is taking it to school in the gym. Boy, they were ready for this fight, man. And the most rewarding payoff was that he got that unanimous decision that it had no doubt. He was in the other man's hometown and everything, but it spoke volumes about how he fought, controlled the tempo of the fight, controlled the dictated, he basically dictated everything and had Hurd fighting from behind and at a deficit. It was excellent. And my hats off to him. He fought in a manner of which we weren't certain that he could do that, at least for the whole fight, and he did. And now, as a titleist, he's going to be even better. What a performance by this gentleman! You got to take your hat off to him. You got to respect what he's about. You even got to respect what he said after the bout. Now, Hyphy, I'll let you cook on that.
Yeah, let's take it to the chat. You got a few people up in here. GG is up in here. Derek McGee's in here. Mark Pinkerton is up in here. So Derek McGee, he said, "Where does Hurd go from here?" So I'll address that first. I appreciate that Hurd. He didn't make any excuses. He said the better man won. He didn't try to blame it on being weight drained, shoulder injury, or rusty. So with that said, yeah, I think that he would want to try to get that rematch. I'm sure he has that rematch clause in there. I'm sure he would want to run that back. But they're gonna have to make a lot of adjustments because if you ask me, in the next fight, J Rock could fuck around and knock him out. Cause that dude, he looked kind of ready to go tonight. What's up, Hustle Slim? Who else is up in here? He said J Rock was landing cleaner punches repeatedly, dominant performance. Hurd corner looked nervous, included. Yeah, did you see those rookie mistakes that they were making? They kept putting too much grease on them, and they couldn't get the hand wraps right. And then they tell the dude in a fight where he has to come from behind, and they tell him, oh, he has to like knock him down. Did you catch all that?
Yeah. Um, what was interesting about that is that the corner, they weren't prepared because their guy is usually the front runner, you see? But anything can happen over the course of a fight. And as you saw tonight, they ran into some problems and it also helped put Hurd at a disadvantage. But that's okay. They'll grow and they'll learn from that experience. But what I was really looking and hoping that you would zero in on, um,
Was the post fight?
well, yeah, the the things that Williams said, and also you did allude to Hurd giving him credit for being the better man tonight. What wonderful display of sportsmanship, because that's exactly what happened. He made no excuses. He lost, and he accepted that. So he'll be a better man as a result going forward. I saw some comments that someone irresponsibly made, saying that Hurd might be done and this and that. It's like, wow, it's amazing. But see, J Rock said the same thing in the interview after the fight, alluding to what that person that I said I heard say that remark, that you don't dispel or write someone off because they suffer a loss, because that's how you grow in life. You understand? And to be able to persevere and overcome, it shows character. To run away from that which is challenging and that will test the metal, so to speak, is cowardice. Okay? Don't let anyone else tell you differently. And this is important that the man got on national TV and said that to the fans. Do not write a person off because they suffer a defeat. He showed you. He went back to the drawing board. He had to take all your insults. He had to take your put downs. He had to take your disgraceful remarks and use them as fuel to fan the flames of his desire to overcome. And he was quite capable, more than capable. And he did it to a champion, a unified champion. He took it.
I'm gonna address what you want to elaborate on first, then we'll get to the chat. So what I did like, and I don't know if people remember this, but J Rock he handled it his post fight extremely well. And if you guys remember, he and Charlo they didn't have the best post fight press conference. Excuse me, a post fight interview in ring when they had their fight. So he handled it very well. He and his whole corner was emotional. You can't really even say nothing bad about the dude because look at all the respect and praise he gave to Hurd, his hometown, his family, being grateful for Hurd, giving him the opportunity, things of that nature. He did everything right in that post fight, and he didn't even discredit Hurd at all. Second of all, Hurd, I was a little surprised. He was hey, he just came out and just gave it up. He said, hey, the better man won. He didn't make any excuses. But this is something that I text you, Stormy. I said, he just exposed a lot of these boxing fans. I'm talking about LDCBC supporters, members, however y'all want to call it. Just because a dude, if you got a guy, he takes a loss to another elite fighter, how does that make him a bum? Or like, oh, he's done, or he needs to switch everything up. Just because you lose to like another top fighter in the division, like this is what's wrong. Everybody want to talk about, oh, all these guys don't want to fight each other. Well, hell, you see why. If you take one loss, the fans is ready to turn on you. Um, why I'm not gonna get off subject, but I said this about the Jose Escadagua when he lost to Caleb Plant. People not even trying to talk about him more. I brought his name up a few times. People saying, "Oh no, he ain't relevant right now." You see what I mean? So, I just like what J Rock said, and it was true. Stop writing guys off just because they take one loss. Especially to a top dude. Hustler Slim is up in here. He said, J Rock was a better inside fighter tonight. I say J Rock has always been a better inside fighter. J Rock is one of the best inside fighters in the game. Stormy, were you impressed with how he would position his torso to like the left side, then he would switch it to the right side to kind of like give her different angles, and
Absolutely.
sometimes he was sidestepping inside also. Since he
Absolutely. Absolutely,
Lomachenko
Hyphy.
sidesteps.
Absolutely, Hyphy. That shows me that he has been taught and schooled well in the gym, because he was able to punch from angles. And did you also notice him stepping around in circles so that Hurd couldn't counter, because he had to have his feet planted to punch back? And he kept turning and shifting the angles on him so that when he did plant, he would move a bit, turn, give a different angle, shift his shoulders, shift his weight. He reminded me a lot of older fighters, James Toney and Mike McCallum, where he positions his shoulder to the left side or the right side to get his work off, and to also defensively move out of the way of what may be countered. Um, I thought he was gonna walk Hurd into a very monster right hand late in the fight, because I saw him hit him with the jab, and it was like snapping Hurd's head back. And then he threw an uppercut that kind of dazed him a bit. And shortly after that, the bell rang for that round. And I was like, he gonna walk this guy into a right hand. But he kept using the left, keeping him mindful of how to try to watch out for everything. A master, a masterful performance, but definitely a performance from a fighter who's more complete than people giving him credit for. He is a complete fighter, and he showed it tonight. He fought on the inside. He boxed outside. He fought at mid range, but not too much of any one thing, but enough to mix it up to keep Hurd off balance.
Yeah, I give him a lot of props because like I said, he was doing his turn on. It wasn't like necessarily a sidestep. He was doing like a full turn to like make her have to turn also to adjust. And like I said, he was positioned as his torso. Sometimes he have it on the left side, sometimes he have it on the right. And he was taking his time. And you said it when we first came on, he was throwing body shots at Hurd. Hurd ain't used to nobody throwing body shots at him. That was the difference between this fight and the Laura fight. Because Laura had success, but Laura don't throw no body shots. This dude was hitting Hurd back with body shots. So you got to worry about the up top and downstairs.
And hard body shots, clean cut body shots. A few strayed low, but he still kept the work in enough to take something away from Hurd for to avoid a late round rally. And that's exactly what he did. Hurd couldn't turn up the notch tonight because he put the work in early. And I told you in my text, I said he got to do some good body work in order to have this success. And he sure did it, man. What a amazing performance. I want to go to the chat also. We have Ramsey Suiton the third came in. He says, peace to the chat. Hustler Sim says, I love the way he would take that step to the side and launch the uppercut. And then Ramsey says, J-Rock made Hurd look like he couldn't box. Jay was punching inside of Hurd's punches and kept his lead foot on the outside of Hurd's. I don't think Hurd trained for that kind of a fight. J-Rock brought tonight. Hurd used to being the bully and walking you down. Shit don't work tonight. Didn't work tonight. Well, let me say this about Ramsey Sitting the Third's comments. I disagree tremendously with your perception of what you saw. Jared Hurd was put in a position to not fight the way he had been comfortably winning. Okay, not the way that he can't fight, because I'm not going to say he can't fight that way, because he is a tall guy. He has range and reach and everything. But guess what? He didn't use it. And J Rock and his corner trained for the perfect result of these things. By Hurd not being able to make the adjustments in the fight was taken from him. If Hurd, after the first couple of rounds, him getting dropped and everything, if his corner had told him, listen, we got to go back to the basics. I want you to stand out there, use your jab, use your reach, and outbox this guy. See if we could catch him. You understand? With something. Change it up. They didn't. They fought the same way the entire fight. Now, Jared Hurd could do these things because he's a professional fighter. He's been able to box before. He hasn't just been schooling and just overwhelming everybody. He's won different ways himself. But he's gotten comfortable being able to be a bullying presence and impose himself on people. But this was not the type of fight that he was supposed to stay in that mode because he was being beaten at his own game. You understand? So, as I said in an earlier uh, stream, you have to make a fighter uncomfortable. They made Hurd uncomfortable, and Hurd didn't adjust. There was no reason for J Rock to adjust because he was doing everything he wanted to do. So the other guy who's on the losing end of that or fighting from a deficit has to make a change. If he had gone back to the outside, started boxing him, picking him off with the jab and everything, because he had the size and the reach advantages, right? Then he would put J Rock in a position to take risks and gamble. But he didn't do that. By staying on the inside, he got his strength taken and sapped from him through the good body work. He got outworked on the inside because the guy got better leverage and cleaner shots he landed, and the guy was controlling the tempo of the fight. He did absolutely nothing to offset that. That is schooling. That comes from your corner. And this is why I said you got a lot of guys out here winning titles and championships before they even learn how to fight. J Rock is a complete fighter. He showed that tonight. We've always known he can punch and knock people out. We've known he could box a little bit. We've known that he can actually, mix it up and things like that. But what we didn't see from him that he displayed tonight was ring savvy and ring IQ at the proper times and under pressure. It was wonderful. I mean, you you cannot easily overlook this performance.
Hey, well, I guess I'm gonna go against the grain because I agree with what Ramesses said about he was punching inside of dude's punches, keeping his lead foot on the outside. He was doing that. Did Hurd train for that type of fight? I don't know, but I guarantee he probably thought he was going to be the stronger guy, and J Rock was going to be fighting off the back foot more. So, he basically it might be a situation where they didn't expect him to fight at that high of a level. And then just thinking that hey, they had all the momentum being at home. I'm unsure, but that dude he fought good. But like I said, that I mean I already knew he could fight that good on the inside. If you look back at some of his fights, he's shown that he could fight good on the inside. He just made the mistake of fighting inside a little too much, whereas he didn't have to. But he been showing me that he could fight inside. You got Crush the Legend. He just fell in the building. He said, "What's up?" Hustler Slim said, Hurd's jab looked like he was bringing it from the side instead of extending it straight out. Hurd, he got some ugly feints, and his feints are slow. Um, but that dude, he got such long arms, and he's tall, so if he can hit you with like one of them shots, he could change a fight. That's what happened with the Tony Harrison fight. It's a game changer. I am Will, yeah, I am ill Will. He up in here saying what's up. So yeah, I was just real impressed with that fight. Um, and his corner, they was like even his corner seemed like it was better. His corner was better than Hurd's corner.
Yeah. At the end of the day, the tactics, the things that you're speaking about that he was able to execute, that's all a part of the process. That's all a part of the schooling and preparation that his coach had him prepared to do. And you can't overlook those things. That's why I'm saying you had one. It's just like, okay, you're in a match and you can't get off. You can't land the shots. You have to change up. You have to do something different. You have to do something that can be more effective. And to learn how to make the changes and adjustments, you have to have schooling, teaching, being taught these things, but also having been put in situations where you've tried it out and see the successes of it. That falls back on me saying, guys fighting and winning, but not necessarily. This is all a learning experience from Jared Hurd. He's going to be better as a result, just like J Rock was better after losing to Charlo. He had, like I said earlier, he had to suffer through the complaints and the people making comments about him and everything. He's a human being. You think that didn't affect him? But he turned that into his motivation for trying to be successful. And my goodness, he was dialed in. I was wondering in the last couple of rounds, was he going to have a mental letdown a little bit? But he didn't. He kept the same psychology through the entire process. And
Oh
and
man, he was ready for it.
he was. And it's like, wow, even if Jared Hurd tried to go go for broke and just try to knock him out in that last round or whatever. That would not have worked because he would have got caught with something because J Rock was so sharp and was ready for him. He answered back everything. He scored just enough to keep the respect, but he didn't coast. He sealed the deal. He played bell to bell. I love that. Love it.
Yeah, that's one of the things I was gonna say next. In the 12th round, when at least me and other people, we believe he had the fight in the bag. He didn't just do that coast and play a safe thing. Nah, he fought like he was a champion, or like he was really, really just trying to seal the deal and take it away from the champion. Because I told you, I think during like the ninth or 10th round, I said, hey, this dude, he is ready to go. It's gonna be hard to put him down, but he's ready to go because, Hurd, he was definitely looking rattled, just being in that position and being hit flush, bleeding the cut. He was rattled. Um, but J Rock, he was smart because he stuck with the same thing. He kept throwing body shots at this dude, kept throwing those. So he was doing what was working and he kept doing it. That dude, he just fought. He just fought at a high level tonight. So that's when we were talking about just impressive performances. That's going on the same list as in the same category as Clarissa and at the top dudes just stepping their game up. And last week you could have had Daniel Jacobs doing that because he had the tools to dominate Canelo. Also, the difference is the mentality. He didn't have the mentality to step his game up. That's why you got a different fight this week compared to last week.
For
So
sure.
it,
For
it was
sure.
just a good, yeah. It was just real good fight. And the reason I'm glad that J Rock won, not the reason I picked him, but the reason I'm glad J Rock won is because now all of these dudes at 154, except for Jaime Munguia, but all of these dudes at 154, they didn't took a loss before. So now that whole oh, I'm better than you, or y'all dummies, y'all just beat up on each other, and I just beat up on the winner. All that talk goes out the window. So it's a level playing field. So all these dudes get to be humbled again. Ramsey said he said Hurd got Hurd got curved out tonight. You can see the exact moment he quit. Look at Hurd's face at the end of the 10th at the break. That's the look of being forced to quit. I didn't see him like really, really willing to go for broke. Like he probably thought he would. Like I said, I think that it's a situation where J Rock was tougher than what he
He
thought,
got
and
he got beaten, man. He got
yeah,
beaten. You
he got
know, this
beaten.
is this is the thing. Listen, Ramsey Sutin the third. I understand what you're saying, and because you're putting your comments in all caps, it makes it look like you're yelling at us. We
No,
we
no, no, that's not
we.
it.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying, and I'm not offended or taking offense, but I'm getting ready to explain something because this is the coach in me, right? This is how I break things down. I understand what you're saying. However, you're wrong. You're off. And I'll tell you why. We all suffer setbacks in life. This was Hurd's night. He lost. He will come back. He can be better for it. This is why when you do lose, you don't get too low. And when you win, you don't get too high because you could be the other guy one day. This was his turn. Remember, he was kind of laughing at Charlo, right? When Charlo lost that decision to Harrison, whether people felt he won, lost, whatever, he was kind of having his fun about it, right? Now he's sitting in the same seat. He handled it a lot better, but I bet he didn't think that when he came out of this match tonight that he would be sitting in that loser's seat. This is what it's all about. Can he come back? He sure can. The opportunities will be there for him. But this is not about Hurd anymore. You have a new champion, a person who was down, a person who had to persevere and overcome, who did. And not only did do that, but showed a graciousness in having the opportunity at another chance and showed the spirit of a champion by acknowledging those who gave him the chance, those that were a part of the promotion and everything, and also a direct message to the fans in your face. With all due respect, don't ever count a man out because he has suffered a loss. That's the biggest teaching moment by example that anyone tuned in tonight could have received. My hat's off to that man, and I wish him all the luck going forward. You can't root against that. He didn't get on there beating his chest. I told y'all, kiss my butt, this and that, whatever. He didn't do all of that foolishness that we've seen so much over the years. He went out there the correct way. He showed his humility, he showed respect, he showed dignity. I can get behind that any day of the week. And I would like a person like that in my corner to fight any battle with me.
Yeah, well, see, I'm gonna say I think he looked a little rattled, and it's because he used to pushing the other guys back, bullying them around the ring somewhat. And this was a dude who not only could he not push back, this dude was pushing him to the rope sometimes, and he was hitting him with those same body shots he used to hitting people with. So that, to me, he is a point where he looked a little rattled. He still fought with heart. I think, yeah, he could come back and be better too. But J Rock was just that good tonight. Hustler Slim said, yeah, her usually comes on during the second half of the fight, but due to the body work J Rock put in, he wasn't able to switch to that other gear. Yeah, he wasn't able in Hurd, he wasn't able to land the type of body work he wanted to because he had body shots coming back to him. So yeah, you're right about that. Brown on boxing, he up in here. He said the second he heard Jared Hurd say that Charlo was mentally weak, I knew he wasn't ready for the fight tonight. Hurd was overwhelmed by J Rock, and he was not prepared for J Rock having so much heart. Yeah, that's what I just said. To me, Hurd he got too comfortable being that top dude. Um, having these two belts. He kind of went on a vacation basically, and he even told y'all he was trying to play the waiting game and make the most money. So I said that too. I said this dude, it seemed like he got a little too comfortable. I bet he'd be hungrier in his next fight as far as the preparation and stuff, and even in the fight itself. You want to go ahead and cook, Stormy?
Yeah, it just comes down to what I've always said and continue to say. When you lose, you find out things about yourself. Huh? You come back, you run it back. You say, okay, you got me this time. I'm gonna get you next time. You ever played a game of pickup basketball and you out there playing and the guy score on you and then you be like, okay, okay, watch this move, try to stop me. Here you go. You know what I'm saying? You get that urge to you want to get yours back. That's competitiveness. If you don't have that, you don't need to be in there. You can get your ass killed in there. Huh? So it's like, understand this. It's all a part of the process. What has happened though is that the truth of the process has been hidden. It's been hidden by guys avoiding the truth, meaning someone who could go out there and challenge them. That man Hurd, he could have had an opportunity to fight Charlo instead of fighting the last person he fought, and Charlo could have fought him. But in the meantime, they delayed. They didn't face each other. Then Charlo suffered a loss. Now Hurd's running around like, oh, well, he lost here. Well, I have to look another direction. But then they say, oh, well, we'll fight J Rock. Charlo beat him. I can beat him too. But he realized J Rock thought he should beat Charlo. You understand? So he lost. And he lost a fight that he was very competitive in, and it was back and forth action. He got caught, but it taught him something. And he came back totally dialed in for this guy and took his belt. So now you got two guys who were both champions. They've lost their opportunity. And a guy who got knocked out is now on top. See how the tables can
Mm-hmm.
turn? And we're talking about just a matter of 6 or 7 months. So this is a lesson, fellas and ladies out there. It's a lesson about life. Don't give up. You suffer a setback, You come back. I cannot stress it enough. You can make all the narratives and say, well, if he didn't go on mental vacation and if he didn't do this and he kind of took his foot off the gas. Listen, all of that is fine saying that, but everybody got a L on their path somewhere. Somewhere. You just don't know when it's gonna happen. And trying to avoid it happening is worse than allowing life to be what it is and embrace when it happens so you can find out what you're made of. You know, there are cowards out here who are afraid to face things and they live in terror and fear because they're afraid of something. You can't walk around in shadows and with your head bowed and all of that. That's miserable. You walk around with your chest out and chin up and feel like I feel good about myself. I have confidence or whatever. So what? Somebody talk about me. So what? Someone don't like me or whatever. Everybody ain't gonna like you, huh? Everybody ain't gonna like you. There's gonna be some people that downright hate you because you got confidence.
JA, he said J Rock was using all the tricks on the inside, the shoulder bump to create the space, pushing the elbows around. Yeah, and that's what we were saying. That's what I said. That was the difference between this fight and the Laura fight. Laura wasn't willing to, get all down and dirty with him and fight on the inside. This dude felt that he could beat him on the inside, was better than him. Brown on boxing, he said Herb been playing the games. No, I already read that one. Oh no, he said, yeah, Hurd been playing the games and he needed this loss. We've been saying Hurd shouldn't get a rematch, but he believed Hurd to be ready, mentally prepared more next time for the J Rock rematch. Yeah, that I'm definitely down for seeing a rematch. Like I said, that was definitely an exciting fight. Um, Jaime Munguia, that dude is pretty much a protected piece of food at this point. So he ain't gonna mix it up with none of these dudes that got lost.
Yeah, it's funny, man. There are people who are still gonna talk about what Hurd didn't do. They're already talking about it. But it would have been very interesting, say that this fight took place, right? And the Charlo and Harrison fight wasn't about to take place, but some other fight. Say Harrison had elected to fight someone else to make a title defense or whatever before rematching Charlo. And then now you would have Charlo and Hurd needing an opponent in the future, and the two losers of their championship fights would have to fight each other. That's how shit used to go down. You know, that's how it used to go down. So one of them might suffer two losses in a row. You understand? It could happen. It's not going to happen in this situation right now because Charlo's already got a date with the person that defeated him or whatever. But J Rock might find himself in a rematch with her down the line. And guess what? He might win again. It could be a draw, or Hurd could be victorious himself. Then you're looking at the possibility of a trilogy because it was such a good fight the first time. That's what makes the sport of boxing. This is what it's all about.
Yeah, to me, if a rematch happened, it's gonna be if Hurd wants it, because J Rock, after what he did tonight, hell yeah, he gonna have enough confidence to go back into a rematch immediately. So it's gonna be if Hurd really want a rematch or not. And I know you saying it's not what Hurd didn't do, it's what he couldn't do, and it's the reason he couldn't do that is because the man on the other side of the ring, I'm saying, he was fighting his ass off. He fought well. Brown and Boxing said, respect for your fellow competitors. This is why guys get upset. Charles C. Harrison lose to guys he don't respect. He underestimates him and gets beat. Hurd underestimated J Rock. Hey, it's possibly so. Like I said, I don't think that he estimated the dude just to be that tough. And that's why I said, to me, he looked a little rattled. Ramsey said in the third, he said Hurd did exactly what he wanted to do. It just wasn't enough. You got Kurt. Kurt is up in the building. He said, "What's up?"
Yeah, I spoke to Kurt in the chat. I said salute. Neutral said this was Julian Williams' legacy fight.
Hell
I,
yeah.
I disagree with that too, because you know what? This is what happens when good fighters fight each other, man. Somebody has to freaking lose. It didn't make his career. It didn't end his career. It showed that he had the. It showed that he had the mettle to be able to come back from a loss. That's what it showed. And in the process, he won a unified title. But it ain't over for him. We don't know what's down the line. What if he goes on to knock out Charlo? What if he goes on to knock out Williams? You're gonna say this was his legacy? His legacy is yet to be written, bro. See, that's what I'm saying. You have to be more responsible in your consideration of what you see. Stop
Well, you
seeing
see,
the world through the keyhole and see it through the window. The
and like,
keyhole
I agree.
is a small perspective. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
I agree with what you're saying, but I'm looking at it like this. If he don't win this fight tonight, he can't even talk about those fights. So he probably prepared his ass off as if that was a defining fight for his career. And that probably, pushed him over the edge.
There's another way to look at it as well. His fight against Charlo was the first fight where he and someone of at least on paper equal stature, right? That they faced off. Charlo got the advantage, defeated him. Now he fights another guy that's at that level and he defeats that guy. You understand? Remember, these guys are all fighting people who not necessarily at their level. Even Lara against Hurd was an older fighter, right? Not a young lion as they like to call them, right? So Lara, you figure in another couple of years he's out the door. So these guys are still in their primes. They're and they can have trilogies, they could have rematches, they could have fights that can take them to another level. This is why I'm saying that it's not. I can't define it being legacy right now. It's a step. It's a huge step because he was defeated. Just like the next fight for Hurd, whether it's a rematch or someone else, it's going to be a huge step for him because he got to prove he could come back. But it's not going to be really proven if he's back if he takes a fight against lesser opposition. He has to get that back from the guy that defeated him. Just like Charlo is about to fight the guy that defeated him. We're going to see what his medal is. Right now, everybody's going on, oh, he was crying and this and that. He might come out and blow Tony Harrison out. He might. Then it's going to look like, oh, he was great. He was fierce. He was this and that. And Harrison, I told you he lost the first fight. Then you're going to be discrediting Harrison. You see how that works?
Yeah, and see that's what I do agree as far as just discrediting the guy because he take one loss. I've been against that. And so I said I'm glad this was a result tonight because now all these dudes they pretty much got one loss. The guy who's undefeated with a belt is a dude that's fighting the weakest competition. Jaime Munguia, and obviously he's looking like the weakest dude out of all of these dudes. Even that other dude, Erickson Lubin, you should don't think that dude just gonna go away. Nah, you already see he feeding off that loss. Everybody's saying, "Oh, he don't got a chin." That dude, he putting in that work. He making a comeback. So I like what's going on now. I'm real glad that this dude took a loss. Um, Brown on boxing, he said, oh no, yeah, I already read that on one. You got some other people that came up in here.
Yeah, yeah.
Hustle Slim said that was a beautiful moment in boxing, redemption, and respect, humbleness, and the right decision by the judge. Yeah, that was another thing. I'm not even gonna front. This is fucked up that it's like this, but I was a little worried. I was like, that they give the decision to the right guy, and even in that type of fight, it was clear as day to me. But still, in that type of fight, it could mess around and be a draw. You know what I mean? That's messed up that I even got to think like that.
But check this
Go
out.
ahead on me.
I'm gonna bring it back to history. Okay, in the 80s, you had Leonard, Hearns, Duran, and Hagler. Okay? Now, Leonard and Duran went life and death. Okay? They went life and death, and Duran got a decision over him. Hearns knocked Duran ice cold. Okay? And Leonard and Hearns went life and death for 14 rounds before Leonard stopped him. Okay? And Duran went on and went 15 rounds with Marvin Hagler. Okay? Marvin Hagler knocked Hearns ice cold in 3 rounds. Okay? And Leonard decisioned Hagler. So it's like here you got four guys and they all fought each other, but they all had different types of results. And it was like on paper, you would say, oh, this guy should whoop this guy should whoop that guy. But if it never took place, you didn't realize that the variables would be so many, so varied. It's like this is why you have to have the fights. You know, styles make fights, as the old adage goes. But not only that, it's just that you have to see it take place for it to iron itself out. We could talk about on paper all day, you know, but until people actually get out there and mix it up, where you can see the results, nobody ever really believed that, you know, Duran would get iced like he did against Tommy Hearns. Nobody believed that, you know, Leonard would beat Hagler after being off for 2 years and not fighting anybody. Nobody thought that Hagler would try to outbox Duran and damn near lose a decision to him in 15 rounds. This is why you have the fights. So now you got these young guys in this particular division, a couple of them who were at the top have already suffered a loss now. It humbles you. And it also keeps guys hungry because it's like, oh, I got to get that back. I got to get my revenge. That's very stimulating. We're getting ready to see one rematch coming up. Maybe we see another. We might see another between Hurd and Williams. Maybe we see Charlo and Williams again. You know, if they turn out victorious in their next fights. I know I would love to see it, but this is what makes the sport. It's an excellent dynamic. It doesn't do anything but open things up because the competition is there. They're all around the same ages. And it's like, my goodness, man, you could see those fights carry on even up into the next weight class because they're at that weight right now. And all of them, by the time that they mature, will at least go to 160. That's some exciting stuff, man.
And to rewind back a little bit, and you know, like you said, you got to see the fights, the whole round robin thing. That's why I'm saying I'm glad that this dude took a loss tonight because now he can't run around with this whole, oh, you know, I got two belts and I'm undefeated, you know, this whole crap, and basically, you know, sitting back and letting everybody else fight, and he pick off somebody at the end, which is the type of talk this dude had been putting out. That's what I'm saying. I'm glad that this was the raw result. Now everybody is on the same, you know, playing field pretty much. Ain't nobody better than each other. Y'all can all be beaten, but y'all all still want to be the top dogs. So y'all all got to fight to get to that position. You know, what I mean, it's a fight. It's an open game out here. Y'all got to fight to prove it. Um, and this was I just got to throw this in. This was like a real exciting night of boxing overall. It was some other fights on. I don't know if people caught that, but man, like this was such a good night of just boxing. Oh, what's up, Eric Jenkins? This was just such a good night of boxing. I ain't had enough. I had to throw on some kung fu, so I'm just yeah, I'm on the stream and I'm watching a movie at the same time. But the other fight was a hell of a fight too. We'll talk about that in a second.
Yeah, yeah. Very and salute to Eric Jenkins for stopping in. What's up, Eric? You know, I feel really good, man. This is so wonderful about the sport of boxing. Tonight, you got to see some of the best of boxing. Like last week was what's despicable about boxing. But here we go. The sport is ever redeeming itself even though some people still try to drag it through the mud. There's no way to stay completely down about it, and there's no way to always feel great about it. But the one thing you can do is when they do get it right, it's like you have to give them the credit. You really do. And that's why I sound so happy and elated for what we had tonight. And believe me, I was speaking very positively about Hurd going into the fight. I had him favored going in, and basically, I spoke well. I was like, because I had a chance to watch the PBC programming about them, the pre-fight stuff, and seeing him with his family and everything. And I was like, he's a very likable guy, which is why I could understand why J Rock spoke so well about him and everything, and his family and everyone in the aftermath. And see, that takes the sport to a different level within itself, where you can have that part of it, that aspect, and it it shows the good quality and character of the people that are out there. They should get more shine and not the negative people and the negative aspects of the sport. The fans, Eric Jenkins says the fans got a great fight tonight. Yes, boxing won tonight. That was an excellent comeback, especially off of the past couple of weeks where you saw Danny Jacobs lay the eggs that he laid, and then before that, you saw Robert Easter and his beat bull crap. I mean, come on. So you want to move on now, hypey, to the Dogboe and Navarrete fight?
Yeah, well, I'm gonna just tell the truth. At least on my stream, um, when that fight was going on, it was going on at the same time as the Hurd versus Williams. So when I looked at that fight, it was in the 11th round. So I only seen the last two rounds. I did say I thought that that fight was going to end in the knockout with Navarrete winning. So I guess I was right, but I can't speak on that fight because I didn't see all of it. Fans' perspective, he just fell in the building. What's up, brother? If you want to go ahead and talk about whatever you've seen, Broderick Hunter's in here also. If you want to talk about whatever you've seen with that fight, you can go ahead.
Well, yeah, I was in between rounds of the Hurd and Williams fight. I would kind of switch over because I knew that was my primary focus. But as I was switching between, I could see that Navarrete was beating on Dogboe again. It was like it just it just picked up from the first fight, basically, and Navarrete had more confidence this time and knew what he was up against. The fight ended in the last round when his father, Dogboe's father, finally decided to throw the towel in and stop the fight. His son getting beat pillar to post every single round and basically got dropped a couple of times. It just, as I said to you, and when we did our show Friday night, I was saying that there was no time to learn from the mistakes he made the first time around and then have some kind of test fight or whatever where he could work on some things and improve, because the way he lost the first time, you have to definitely do some things defensively and everything, and that wasn't enough time. And he's going in against the same guy who is going to be even more confident this time around, and he's going to whoop his behind, and that's exactly what happened. Now he's talking about moving up to the higher weight. What do you think is going to happen at the higher weight? You're going to get knocked out again. He's going to get knocked out. Moving up to a higher weight, they're stronger and bigger up there.
Hey, Broderick Hunter said he thought it was a rerun of the first fight. Yeah, um, fans' perspective. Yeah, we had like just got off the J Rock fight, but yeah, we both definitely agreed. He showed a lot of grit and heart. Hudson Slim said the dude he just too tall and long for Dogboe. He just got his number. Yeah, that's why I felt the result was going to be the same, and I
Hey,
was right about
hey,
that one.
I want to make a comment about Hustler Slim's comment. He said he just has his number. Yeah, Hustler Slim, he got his number and he wrote it on the bathroom wall so everybody will have it. So when he get in there with somebody else, you gonna see the same thing happening to the guy. Cause the guy is about 5 feet tall, man. He might be as tall as Tattoo on Fantasy Island. That's what he looked like in there anyway, with some bigger man pounding on him, and they talking about moving him up to another weight. The dude gonna get killed, man. And Navarrete wasn't even a huge puncher. He's a decent puncher, but imagine you talking about moving up. That's junior featherweight. You're gonna move up to the super featherweights, and where those guys can put your lights out. Man, they crazy. Dogboe better find another profession, man. Uber cab driver or something, because he his dad ain't smart, man. He's not. If he were smart, he would have put him in with a couple of matches against some people that can't hurt him, where he could learn how to fight fight a person that's got skills, that the size and reach advantage that would emulate what Navarrete brought. So when he go back in there with him, he can do some things tactically. He went in there just like Broderick said, and it was a rerun. He got his butt beat. It was like round 13, okay, of the first fight.
Yep, pretty much. I see. Stay ready. He just fell in the building. Just came to say what's up.
Hey, what's up?
Um,
Stay ready. Yeah, we
this
just working on Dog Day right now, getting his meat pounded, man. It's like this guy. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Hey, I didn't expect to see just like this much excitement over the weekend. I gotta watch the Dog Bay rematch, of course, but just this good boxing. I've been watching some type of fighting all day. Watching boxing, watching like I watched like four kung fu movies. I didn't expect to see this much good boxing. The last fight that just ended, the Berchelt rematch. That even though Vargas to me like he didn't win a round, that was still a hell of a scrap. That was a banger too. What you think about that one?
Huh? The the
I
the
said what the Berchelt versus Vargas rematch.
you know what? You said it was going to end about the middle rounds, but my take on it was going to end as soon as dude face opened up, because it was like the guy Vargas, man, the the stuff that the stuff that he's taken, to the face. First of all, let's just say it plain and simple. Your face is not meant to be pounded on, right? But for a man who has absolutely like zero defense, it was gonna be downhill for the guy. It was just a matter of time. I didn't think that he might get knocked out. I thought it would be a stoppage on the cuts. That's what I thought. And that's exactly what happened. His corner stopped it, man. And he actually said it, I think the round before, or maybe 2 rounds before, he was like, if his face holds up, but if it doesn't, we'll have to do something. And that's exactly what happened. I mean, he just, he's fought a career, he's had his day, but it's over. It's over for Vargas. But
Yeah, I didn't like.
I really like Belchert's I love his left hook, man. He throws a fire left hook, and he looks really really good when he doubles it, whether it's to the head or whether it's a hook to the head and hook to the body. I really love his left hook. He got a nice left hook.
Hey, speaking of his left hooks, though, he did this a few times in a fight. He'll throw like two left hooks or three of them, but he'll throw one. It'll be long. It'll kind of go, around the gloves, and then he'll throw another one without even bringing his arm all the way back. He'll throw another one right there towards like the front of the head. I was like, oh man, this dude got a nice ass left hook. Sometimes it's two of them, sometimes it's three of them. But yeah, that dude, I didn't like how Vargas, even sometimes when he was blocking the punches, how he was kind of like his body was being moved a little bit, and then he had times where he was bending his head over, over the knee. sometimes I didn't like that. And just getting caught flush that many times, yeah, your face is bound to swell up and break down. That dude was getting hit with some wicked body shots too. Even though he got hit low a few times, he got hit with some wicked body shots. That dude Berchelt, that dude is great at because he could fight off the back foot some because he was taking little back steps just so he could get enough space to extend his punches, and he was
Yep.
getting off some wicked body shots. I was like,
And
damn, these
yeah, and
damn.
he knows the proper distance to get those shots off too. He knows the proper distance. It's like you get within a certain range and he's firing on you, you know. And I love how he was working behind his jab and he was throwing in combinations. Because combinations, it's like, you know, you could throw a 1-2, but when you throw in 3, 4, 5, it's like something's gonna land, you know. And I noticed that his shots to Vargas' head was making that sound like it sounds when you hit a drum or something. It's like boom. It was like he was landing solid, man.
Man, well, see, you were seeing headshots, and I was looking like, damn, look at these body shots landed. So he was tearing that dude up. And you know, I know it was a one-sided fight, but it was exciting to see because Vargas was fighting back, and he was landing some stuff too, you know, sometimes. But just to see, you know, just you just gotta look at the fight. That was a banger right there. As long as it lasted, that was a hell of a banger. Yeah, I agree. I want to see. You know, obviously we got to talk about that. You know, Tank Davis since he had to wait. I want to see that unification too. But this dude Tank ain't trying to fight nobody. You know, it is what it is, man. And you know, Berchelt, man, that dude is good. That's another dude with a loss, but
And I tell
you
you
know,
something, they're letting Berchelt get that experience. Now that he's a champion, what they say he had about three title defenses already. So it's like plus tonight, it's like, you know, you get fighters like that and they get the rolling, man. They'll be hard to beat because he's in his prime and he looks to be well schooled. You know, they were talking about how he was holding his hands as opposed to the first time that they fought, he and Vargas, and they were absolutely correct. I know Broderick said it looked like he was watching a rerun in the other fight with Dogboe, but it was not a rerun in this fight. He seemed to really be handing Vargas his dinner like early from go, you know, and he looked real comfortable doing so. It didn't look like he was struggling at all.
yeah, that was another one. I guess I picked it to end in the mid rounds, and it did. Like I said, you know, Vargas, he at least you know he stayed in there, but yeah, Berchelt was just landing just too much flush shit. I don't want to see nobody get tagged like that. I mean, that dude Berchelt, he was like I said, he was taking his steps back just so he could get full extension on his punches. He was landing like some nice hooks to the body. I was like, ugh. So you know, you had that's what I'm proud of tonight, man. I seen body work tonight. Dudes is getting body work on tonight.
Well, let me go to the chat there. It says fans perspective says honestly Tank would own the division already, but them damn politics stalling greatness. Roderick Hunter says your stamina game better be on when you fight hard hit Mexicans. And fan perspective said Tank dog walks Burchett. Uh, let me say this about Tank. Tank may find himself in the same position that a lot of these other fighters are in, walking around beating guys that don't belong in the ring with him. Okay? When he get in there against somebody who can punch back, who can fight back, then we'll know what he has. But until that happens, I don't give him much credit because fighting and beating guys that you know you can beat, he don't even he don't even talk back. Lomachenko calling him out and everything. He don't even respond back to that stuff, but he want to talk stuff to other people in different weight classes and all of that. Tank needs to just fight people. He just needs to fight people. This man that fought tonight, he's a good fighter. Will he beat Tank? I don't know. I would like to see it, but I know one thing. I don't think that guy is just going to fold up because Tank punches him or punches hard. This guy's a seasoned fighter. He's been in a few wars already, and he can give and get. I mean, I would like to see it. I'm not just gonna give or hand Tank any kind of greatness when he hasn't done anything great. Beating a bunch of guys that you're supposed to beat is not great.
Hey, and let me hop in there. Look, because this is the same narrative everybody like to run with. Oh, Tank dog walk this dude. Oh, Tank can destroy this dude. All right, if he could destroy all of these dudes, right? 130, 135. Why can't we get him to at least fight one live body? Y'all got to remember, Tank he fought Pedraza in the beginning of 27. Yeah, or around the beginning of 2017, I believe. How come he ain't fought a live body since? That's over 2 years now. So something ain't adding up. Either it's the fighter, it's the fighter who don't want it, or something ain't adding up. So that's what I'm saying. Y'all. I mean, I don't see how the fans is even riding with a dude who just looked great in the ring. But you could beat all these dudes, but you can't fight one live body. Something ain't adding up. I'm not going for that. That's why I don't even like talking about the dude.
Yep. That's why you guys shouldn't use Jaime Munguia's name because they're gonna keep that dude so protected. If you think they're gonna put him in there with the likes of Hurd, Harrison, Charlo, and Williams, that ain't gonna happen, man. It ain't gonna happen. They're gonna keep that guy safe in a little box with glass around it and safety tape and everything because he represents a certain demographic that they need to keep the sport thriving. Okay, and he can go other places and fight and get hometown decisions and give decisions and this and that, but he ain't gonna lose to one of y'all. That ain't gonna happen because they ain't gonna put him in there with you. They gonna talk about it. They'll call people out and everything, but it ain't gonna happen.
And see, I'm gonna address this too. Derek Bailey. This is what a lot of people say though, so I'm not just addressing him. Everybody say, oh, Floyd is stopping him from doing this. Now, see, that's another thing. It don't make sense if we saying or if y'all saying, oh, Tank a dog walk all these dudes, and if Floyd believe, oh, he had dog walk these dudes too. How come you can't get him in the ring with at least a B level fighter in 2.5 years? Not even a B level fighter. Something ain't adding up, man. So I'm not going to run with this whole narrative. Oh, it's us only. Floyd don't want him. Jay Dixon, he said, yeah, Tank don't want it when him and Floyd got into it. Floyd threatened to make the yeah, he's right. He's basically threatened to make the lumber fight after he beat what's his name. Yeah, we know all that stuff. But like I said, I'm not just gonna put all the blame on Floyd. At the end of the day, I ain't seen this dude fight a live body in 2.5 years, and he getting all this praise. So it is what it is.
Yeah, and
It's too much exciting boxing to not even talk about that dude tonight.
yeah, that's why I don't. That's why I don't like to bring his name up very much because he's a non-factor as far as I'm concerned. Non-factors should not be disclosed because it's like that's what they are, non-factors. You know, there are so many other people worth talking about. This kid Berchelt, he put on a great performance tonight, and nobody can take that away from him. He put on a great performance. He did what he's supposed to do. He sent the old man home. He sent him home. He gave him a shot, just like the old man gave him a shot a couple years ago. He gave him a shot right back, ran it back, and then ran him on out of there. Now it's whoever's next. You know, if he's gonna be able to unify, let's see that. If not, I don't know. But the thing about it is that's one more decent fighter. I'm not saying he's great because he's not, but I say it's a decent fighter that I like to see fight again. And I say he's got a hell of a left hook. Okay, fighters today keep their hands low. Now left hook land home, you might see somebody doing that dance, huh?
And that's another fighter. He sometimes you take a step back, but you can't ever say he don't bring no excitement. So that's what I'm saying. This dude, he trying to fight the best. He is fighting the best in his division. He bring you excitement every time he step in the ring. Why people ain't talking about Berchelt nearly as much as a guy who ain't fought a live body in 2.5 years, it's not adding up to me. And y'all can't say I'm lying because the proof was in this fight tonight. That dude showed y'all he's good and he brought the excitement tonight. So, those are the only dudes we gonna be talking about. We're not gonna be talking about no dudes who ain't fighting no live bodies. And as far as he said, yeah, oh yeah, all right, yeah, we already talked about that. Hustle Slim said, yeah, you're right. Hype for the Warriors that got it on deserves to be talked about. Exactly, and this is what I'm trying to tell y'all. Next week, you got Anui. He's fighting a Roman in a unification fight. That's for the to see who wins the WBSS. That's a unification fight. They both bringing the belt to the table. That's a unification fight. You got Taylor versus Baranchik. That's another fight. Like Baranchik is a heavy-handed. Baranchik remind me of he's heavy-handed like a Provodnikov, heavy-handed fighter. So we telling y'all it's these fights. Is these gonna be real good fights? But like I said, you not gonna hear everybody else talking about these fights, but they real good fights. Y'all just got to be open to these type of fights.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And like when the fights are as good as they were tonight, you don't mind watching and tuning in, you know? It's like that's good stuff, man. That's excellent stuff, you know?
Hell yeah, man! Oh, some good fights, man. And
What do you think about what's beyond tonight's match at that division of 154? Um like we got Harrison and Charlo coming up, but after that, who's got the other belt? Munguia?
yeah, Mungia.
Isn't there one more belt out there though?
Nah,
Or
because J Rock got two, Harrison got one, Mungia got the last one.
oh,
Oh
okay.
yeah, what the Castano? Yeah, if you want to count these interim belts that people like to make up, silver belts, whatever you want to say. I'm
No,
not even
no,
talking
no.
about
I
those.
don't want to get no credit to that stuff.
Yeah,
That just makes things more confusing. But I was
but
just trying to see where the other two belts were. Is Munguia's got one and Harrison got the other. Okay, so yeah,
yeah, the positive outlook on that division though is like I said, um, you got Erickson Lubin. That dude is making a comeback. He's coming back. Don't get me wrong. You got Lara is still hanging around, so dudes around. So you still got dudes that gonna be around. You got the champions. You just won't have an undisputed at that weight because obviously I don't see them letting go of that Mungia on that. That's lost. Yeah, you got the 154 division is definitely another good division. That's just you know he just consider something. I'm happy to do the loss because all these dudes they on a level playing field now. Ain't no Boston about these dudes. None is above the other.
yeah,
They can all fight each other.
yeah. Well, I'll tell you something. As much as we wanted to see the round robins happen at welterweight, junior middleweight might be it, man. Junior middleweight may we where you see turn into the glamour division outside of heavyweights because these guys now, that there's a couple of their main guys have suffered a loss. Now it's gonna be open season. People like, well, my O is gone. I don't care. I'll get in there. I'll fight you. I'll fight you. I'll fight you. And hopefully that's what happens because that'll only mean the fans are gonna get what they want. And like I say, there's
Yeah,
nothing wrong with
and
round robins. You fight him, I fight you. You fight me, I fight you. There's nothing wrong with round robins, man. When that stuff is happening, boxing is thriving, man. When you having rematches, that are like earned rematches. We ain't talking about guys rematching people that they could just beat up, or where there were horrible decisions and it was a forced rematch. We're talking about competitive matches like tonight, where the title exchanged hands because one guy fought better, you know. But we have to see it at least twice to know who's the better man. And if the second fight has another, twisted ending, like the other guy wins his belt back, then hey, you set up a trilogy. You know what I mean? That's like,
Hey, oh, go ahead, go ahead.
no, I said that's like, long money there. Long money. It's like, because people will pay to see it, especially since the first one was so good. That's what the seller. You got to have that first one first. You know.
Yeah, I'm over here laughing at dumb lowland prophets. This fool said he overslept and missed the fight. Hey, you picked the worst Saturday to oversleep, man. Yeah,
Dude,
he missed.
Lowland Prophets, you missed an excellent fight, man. If you're not joking about that, man, this was a night to have the TV on. I mean, my goodness, that was a great fight tonight. That was a great fight, man.
Yeah, man, those are the guys you got at 154. Yeah, you got the prospect and Josh Kelly that's moving up to 154. You got Kell Brook and Jesse Vargas. They're gonna be at 154. I don't expect them to have much success, but you know, even without those guys, you got other guys that's still there. Obviously, all you need is just them to fight each other. So you got some good fights that could still happen at 154. Rematches, it's just it's open market.
Oh, Derek Bailey is asking, do you think Hurd and J Rock should run it back? I think it's definitely a fight that people would watch again because the first fight was pretty good. Good action. It's just that Jared Hurd, I don't think he was prepared for, what J Rock brought tonight. Now, would there be adjustments made in a rematch that could, change the tide? I'd like to see it. I know I would like to see it. What about you, Hyphy?
Yeah, I said, hell yeah, I would like to see it, but I said if the rematch happens, to me, it's gonna be if Hurd wants to run it back. I think J Rock is so confident he willing to run it back. So to me, that's gonna be if Hurd exercise it. But hell yeah, I definitely like to see them have that fight back. Um, hell yeah, no problem
And
at
and
all,
don't
man.
forget,
That
don't
fight,
forget
other
this.
fights.
Don't forget this angle. Hurd might use this as an excuse to go ahead and move on up.
That's what I was looking for in the post fight. I was like, oh, I hope he don't pull that to discredit this dude.
Because before the fight, he was saying maybe two or three more fights. But sometimes people get the feeling now if he start talking, let's just say a month from now, he start talking like he think he might want to go on and move up, then I will put even more credit on J Rock's victory because that means that mentally Hurd don't want to do what's necessary to face his demons, to face the fact like, I lost, let me try to get it back. That's quite telling, man.
Yeah, well, he ain't say nothing about his weight tonight, so
That's
I'm
why I
not even
said
going
you
to
give him a
looking to
few
bring that
months.
up.
That's why I said you give him a few months
Yep.
and see how he responds. Because you give him a few months, and if he start talking that talk, then you know what I'm saying right now. It comes into fruition because it's like, hey, you know, I know as a champion, you drop you drop a unanimous decision, but it was a close fight, but it's a unanimous decision. There's some things you could clean up and run it back. If you don't want to run it back, there's no guarantee just because you move up, you're gonna have success up there. Because everybody got book blueprint on your ass now anyway.
Hell yeah. And everybody you would have thought the style would have been to try to, fight him on the outside, but nah, this dude, he brought a different style. He mixed it up. So yeah, it's a blueprint out on you, man. You got to fight your way back up. And I'm not saying that you out the race, but just go, make some adjustments, come back better.
Yeah, that's what he's gonna need to do. And
He
we're
said,
not 100% certain that that's what the answer is going to be, but it's going to be very interesting seeing what his decisions are going forward.
you think Hurd can tighten up his defense or get a defense, or rather that dude he can't continue to take punches with his face.
All he
Man,
needs to do, Hyphy, is pick that left
that
hand up.
hand up. Yep, that
Pick
hand.
that damn left hand up. Stop carrying that left hand so damn low. And when you look to block, roll, parry, all of that, use that left hand up high. Block, cover your face, cover your head. I mean, I tell you, this is a pet peeve of mine with all these young fighters today fighting with their damn hands low, man. I
Yep.
hate that.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I think some of these fighters they think it's pretty. I don't know what it is, man, but it's becoming a habit, and you know, yeah, somebody just gonna get picked off with that. I don't know why they do it, man. Hey, but Stormy, let's all right. So look, tonight, this was one weekend or two weekends where we said it's gonna be just some really good fights. So now, how you feeling about next weekend? This got you more pumped just about the fights next weekend?
Oh yeah, man. I really believe that next weekend is gonna really set the heavyweight division on fire because the outcome of this fight, I'm expecting Deontay Wilder to win, but it could be something, it should be a spectacular victory for him. But my goodness, I hope this guy don't try to pull something and get him disqualified or whatever, because I don't have a lot of confidence that this man is gonna fight. I just don't. And he's the type of fighter who takes punishment. He takes shots to give shots. You can't take shots from Deontay Wilder. You can't. It'd be good night, Irene. But I hope it's a clean knockout. I hope he gets him out of there fast, maybe 2 rounds or so. I don't want it to go in the eighth, ninth round and all of that. I want him to get him out of there and gone on to the next person. And
Man,
spectacularly.
I already know he gonna try to do something dumb like uh do this real aggressive clinch while they at the ropes and then hold on to him and they both fall through the ropes. It's gonna be something dumb like that he gonna try to do. I already know it.
Yeah, because that's his MO. It's like he, you know what? He's a big man, but he's not a big man inside. You know what I mean? And
Hell yeah.
sometimes those are the worst kind. Sometimes those are the worst kind. I just
They
don't.
gonna be they gonna be doing dumb stuff, throwing like a whole bunch of water in the corner, putting water in his trunk so he keep calling timeout. Like it's gonna be dumb stuff, man. I guarantee you.
Yeah, yeah. But that's how I see the fight. I would love for it to be over and quick because I just want Deontay to get rid of this dude. And if he leaves him with a spectacular knockout, we might not see this guy again, which will be a good thing for the sport. Get him on out of there. Because I think he's just a big oaf anyway. Even if he wasn't fighting Deontay Wilder, I looked at him when he was fighting uh the British champ, and the guy he told him, "You ain't about that life. Don't try to act tough with me." And he got punked at the press conference with him. I was like, man, I just saw stuff. And then when he was fighting him, the champ was getting off first, and he would punch second. I hate fighters who do that. Like he get hit with two jabs, then he'll try to jab. The champ throw two, 1-2, then he try to follow with a 1-2. He fighting from behind. It's like he never do anything to assert himself first or aggressively. You just a second rate guy and you fight secondly. Go sit your ass down somewhere.
Yeah,
And
man.
and
You're right.
when AJ finally got confidence to step to him and start putting leather on his ass, he knocked him out. But it's like early on, AJ was cautious and stuff, because he's not experienced that much himself. So, but he began to realize, oh, I can get to this guy. And he went on and did what he's supposed to do. See, Deontay ain't got that problem. It's just that Deontay will wait until he can land that perfect shot so he could just knock, like he said, he gonna do the Mortal Kombat move and pull his brain out of his skull. That's what he wanna do. And I wanna see it. Huh? In high def.
Yeah, this dude, like, I swear, I don't want him to even shake his hand after the fight. Like, no, none of that.
Kick him in his ass after the fight. Get the hell out of here.
Yeah, man. Um, the fight I mentioned earlier, the Taylor versus Baranchik, I'm thinking that's going to be the most competitive fight this weekend. I mean, next weekend. But like I said, it's just three good fights next weekend. So, like people like Lowland Profits, don't be oversleeping. Man, watch them three fights next weekend, man. It's looking good. This was one weekend. Next weekend, that's gonna be part two. It's looking real good. You got some real good fights next weekend.
To this day. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm just just real glad this weekend it turned out the way it was, and that's just giving me a lot of confidence that next weekend it's gonna be definitely as good. Hey, your thoughts on the commentary, man? What's up with Goosen and Linux? What's up with these dudes?
Man, they're horrible. It's like they are horrible, man. They should have me on there for commentary. I tell it like it is, man. Howard Cosell style, man. But these guys, Lennox is like he knows what to say, but he tries to he tries to play the middleman too much. He tries to give, like he didn't want to say that Hurd was getting his ass whooped. Huh? He didn't want to say that, but he was. And Goosen was just talking like, you know, well, Hurd is really coming back. He's throwing these punches, and you have to be careful. And I'm like, Hurd need to be careful from them punches that J Rock hitting him with. What you talking about? He already been on the canvas. It's like, what are you looking at, Joe Goosen? But they're horrible. Those announcers, they are.
Yeah, I think Linux is he's a better just I guess just talking behind the scenes in general because even his announcing like his it just seemed like he was leaning towards the guy who was clearly losing the fight. If you ask me, I don't know what the hell's going on with him. And however bad I thought Linux was, Goosen was 100 times worse than that. I don't basically I just look at anything Goosen say, you just take it as a lie, man. That's the best way to look at Goosen, and it just sucks because y'all trying to get casuals to watch boxing, but y'all lying to them. with this horrible commentating. So, man, it's just like, how can you not get no good commentary? Fortunately, the Berchelt fight, I couldn't even hear the commentary on that fight. The crowd was like pretty, raging. It was pretty loud in there. But yeah, this commentary on fights, to me, that's like they biggest weakness, if you ask me. Just the commentary. They need to revamp that quick. Don't let the people get used to hearing these two dudes. Nah, just revamp this. Just get rid of it, man.
Yeah,
And see,
just
they in
like
the
that.
chat agreeing.
Just like that guy they say died today. The guy used to judge the fights. He was horrible at that, you know. And I'm sorry, but I don't have nothing to say about him, passing away. But I'll say one thing about him judging fights. I know he had a lot of fights wrong. He was about as biased as they come, you know. At least you ain't got to hear those scorecards no more. That's what I say about that. I like,
Man, y'all know I can get down like that too.
yeah, he
Man,
was
look,
horrible, man.
yeah, I look. I don't care. Oh, show some respect because he passed away. Man, I'm not about to lie on a dude. Truth is, the dude was horrible. All he did his whole time, HBO, all he did was go for the aggressor. The guy who came forward more is the guy that he always felt was
Or
winning the
whoever
rounds.
had the contract with HBO, you know,
Yeah, man.
he was a house score guy, you know, just
Part of, yeah, Julie. That's her name. His daughter. Yeah, Julie. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. And then like for certain fights, man, like the Kovalev Ward fight, man, how he was scoring that, man. Get the hell out of here, man.
Hey,
Yeah,
all
he had
his
Andre Ward winning like 2 rounds in the first fight, you know. Well, Jim, I see it like 9 rounds to 2 so far for Kovalev. I'm like, this dude is ridiculous. Get him out of there.
man, all them like them Triple G fights and stuff. Just it's always the guy who's coming forward more or looking as the aggressor. He always winning the rounds. It just got annoying, man. Like I said, I'm just not a fan of the dude. So I know y'all can say the rest in peace and blah blah, but I'm not gonna miss
No,
that
I
dude
say
at
rest in
all.
peace to Burt Cooper, but bury that dude's scorecards with him. That's what I say.
Yeah, man.
So he
You
can't
died.
ruin a fight anymore.
You and HBO, y'all left, and that's that.
Yeah, you know. He checked out because I can't judge fights no more, so I guess there's no purpose for me anymore. You know.
Yeah, they left their spirit with Showtime and Fox commentators though, unfortunately.
Yeah, they're horrible over there too. I don't know. This is just, it's funny because like you asked me what I think about tonight's commentary. Do you realize that I actually watched the fight without listening to them that much? I just know that they were saying some messed up stuff, but I really tuned them out and was just watching the action for myself. Just like I was texting you, I'm like, man, this dude fighting his butt off. That's what I saw, but that ain't what they were saying. We
See,
got
Reggie
Reggie
Owens,
Owens just joined the chat. What's up, Reggie Owens?
yeah, what's up, brother? Yeah, it's funny. I'm sitting here, watching a fight by myself, but I'm actually talking because I'm just countering everything, that these dudes are saying. That's just wrong. I'm laughing at them. They got the Hurd Williams fight. Oh, like it's well, I think at one time I got it 57-56. Oh, like, man, what fight are y'all watching? Like, dude
Wait a
throughout that
minute, and
whole
there
fight.
was a knockdown.
Yeah.
Get out of here,
57,
man.
56. Like, y'all dudes, man. Yeah, y'all couldn't score no fights with, man. I don't even want to watch no fights with y'all.
I guess they didn't see her stumbling around the ring and being knocked back and being dazed and all of that. They didn't see any of that.
Yeah, get Harold Letterman, get him all the way up out of here. But these two dudes, they commentary jobs. They need to go where Harold Letterman is at, man. Get out of here.
Too bad they ain't get Harold Letterman up out of there before some of them horrible scorecards over the fights over the years. Shoot, man.
Yeah, man. Okay, because he's coming forward. It's always just the guy moving forward.
Just terrible, man. Just terrible. You be like, you be sitting there saying, what? You know, because you watching the match, right? And you two guys, you might have a fight a certain kind of way. You might be seeing it like 7 rounds to 5 or whatever. And then here he come, a total whitewash where he give a guy 2 rounds. I'm like, what?
Exactly.
Yeah,
It's
Jay Dixon at one point Hazard had Hurd winning 3 or 4 rounds in a row on his card. Yes, man, exactly. Larry Hazard, he must have been taking shots too, because I didn't see it the way he saw it. He need to go sit his butt down somewhere with that foolishness. I know you in his hometown and all of that, but it wasn't that. It was like the dude was losing, man. Now the funny thing about it, if that was Triple G beating on her, they would have had it Triple G 11 rounds to 1. You know, that's the way they would have scored it.
Hey Reggie, yeah, I got to give it to Hurd though. You know, the Laura fight, this dude, he been in some real good fights, man. Fight of the year candidates 2 years in a row. I got to give him that. But yeah, it's sad. I just thought about it now. It's like, where's can we find some good commentary? One broadcast team that does a decent job. One of these networks where they got some decent commentary. None of them. Yeah, I got to go see what BT or BT is talking about, or Box Nation or somebody. Damn.
Well, the one thing I'm finding out is even those UK guys, they be judging fights wrong too.
Oh man, Sky Sports.
Yeah,
I yeah, I was listening to them for the Canelo Jacobs fight. Man, they was sucking Canelo off so bad. I was like, what? Man,
it's really horrible that they do that, man. I don't know. I don't know where you're supposed to, because of course you want your fight commentators to be able to speak clearly and everything so people can understand. So you can't have somebody like James Toney on there talking because you can't even understand what he be saying, you know? So you got to have somebody with some kind of, speaking clearly or whatever. But there's not a lot out there, really.
yeah, you can't. Just imagine James Toney. You know him. He think like he the only good fighter. He just think everybody else garbage. So that wouldn't work out. Everybody a bum if you ask him.
Yeah, James Toney will be sitting up there. Yeah, he a bitch. He don't want to do nothing. He's like, he be saying stuff. It'd be like, James, you can't say that on the air. You know,
Yeah, you're right, Hustler Sam. You pretty much, if you want to hear commentary, it's like a less than a handful of channels that they go live during fights, and they'll give you some commentary like Marlo and them. But other than that, hey, you just gotta, or you could do like I do, mute the TV during the rounds, unmute it, so you can hear what the corners is saying, but. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's my method. I don't need to hear, like I said tonight. I listened to them and it just confirmed they still on the same BS. But yeah, you just can't get no good commentary. Like I said, it's not for us, but it's think about the casuals, the people who don't watch boxing. They got to hear these guys talking, so they believe in what they saying. Oh, well, he must be right. He used to be a professional fighter. Oh, this guy, he's a trainer. You know what I mean? That to me, that's where it's messed up. You having so much influence, and it's not even the proper information, or and you repeating it or not even saying it properly at least. That's the messed up part. Sheldon Holmes, he up in here. He said, "Oh yeah, salute." He in Louisiana with his mom and kids, feeling good. But the boxing got it right tonight. That's right.
Absolutely. Salute to Sheldon Holmes, man. We saw a good fight tonight, Sheldon Holmes. We saw, fighters being competitive. We saw them trying to give and get, and also with the fighter who was victorious, we saw him, be gracious in victory. It was a very well placed shot in the arm for the sport tonight. J Rock is all right with me, man. He's all right with me.
Hell yeah,
And
man.
that's not to put Hurd down. It's not at all. Because Hurd, he fought, but he just lost. That's all. He lost. And he can come back. He'll have a chance to come back one day. But tonight was J Rock's night, and he he should be celebrated for it.
Yep,
He
yep.
didn't steal a title. He didn't, squeak by. He won. He snatched the title from her tonight. And that should never, ever, ever be underplayed.
And see, he fought, so well, in that man, pretty much in that man's backyard, that they couldn't even boo him because he fought well, but he carried himself like a gentleman overall. They couldn't boo him, get mad at him, nothing. Nah, they just had to, give him his props because it ain't like he went in there and, oh, he fought off the back foot all night, did a whole bunch of moving. Nah, he fought that man. He fought the bigger man, so you got to get that man his props.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, it was just a good night of boxing in general, man. Just glad things got shaken up. He said he can't believe Hurd didn't have another wrinkle to his game.
Well, not tonight.
Uh,
Not tonight. But I think he'll go back to the gym and go back to the drawing board. He's gonna have to he's gonna have to use more boxing. We know he could fight in close. We know he could pressure guys and this and that. But he's gonna have to learn, or he's gonna have to exhibit. I shouldn't say learn. He's gonna have to exhibit that he can box, that he could establish distance, that he could keep people at the end of a jab, that he could use combinations, and that he could, defend as well as, execute his shots and not just be expecting to hunt everybody down and walk them down and stuff like that. He's going to have to show more, just like they were saying that Earl hadn't showed more until he fought Mikey, and then he showed more of his boxing technique and stuff. That's what Hurd is going to have to do. He's going to have to show more of boxing acumen than just, a pressure fighter or whatever, because you're not going to be able to do that against everybody. And nobody saw this coming. They didn't. So that's a wake up call for him.
yeah, yeah, because like I said, I even though I picked Williams to win, I thought he was gonna win in a real tough split decision. Now, them scorecards, they don't represent the type of fight I'm talking about. Nah, I thought he was gonna win a tough split decision, but nah, he clearly won that fight. And I'm talking about from the first round to the 12. He was always in control of the fight. Hurd,
That
you
left
know,
hook that put him down, though, I was like, whoa. That was like unexpected. I thought if he'd go down from the right. But he put him down with a left hook, which lets me know that they worked on that left more in camp because Hurd's people knew that J Rock has a right hand. That's his meat and potatoes. But my goodness, now he showed he got a left too. Man, that's a dangerous dude.
Yeah, man. Just surprised the hell out of him. Man, that was just a fun. Yeah, we probably gonna have to. Yeah, well, I'm gonna just tell you that'll be an idea for a show, a topic. I'll leave that behind the scenes. But yeah, we got some stuff to talk about. I'm just proud of that dude, man. You know, he was real humble, fought his way back, and that was the stage. He let it all out. He said, "Hey, I've been doubted ever since I took that first loss. People been writing me off and stuff." So yeah, he handled it properly.
Mm-hmm.
That was real good. I do gotta watch. I'll be watching that tomorrow. The full fight of the Navarrete versus Dogboe. I'll watch the full fight of that because I wasn't going to turn from the Hurd Williams fight. So I'll watch the full fight of that tomorrow. But it sounds like he just took a beating.
He did, man. Navarrete was pounding on him, man. And they talking about he gonna move up. Man, they gonna kill Dogboe, man. They trying to kill him, man. They dangling him out over the ocean like on them fisher boats when they trying to catch sharks. Shit. Dogboe
Man,
gonna be killed. They talking about moving up. Now, they ain't talking about like, oh, we gotta find another champ to get a belt from. They talking about moving up. Shit, the dudes up at a higher weight are stronger. And Navarrete was not even like this tremendous puncher or anything. He gonna be killed, man.
yeah, they talking about him moving up. Nah, he needs to learn how to fight. He just gonna be fighting taller guys. Period. He needs to learn how to do that first. You know what I mean? But moving up, nah, going in the wrong direction, man.
Hey, Broderick Hunter says in the chat, he says J Rock showed the boxing world how to take a title, not just have a good moments. And he said Harrison, you know. So hey, Harrison said, dude is a what do he call him? A
Cornball.
cornball. He said he gonna show him he's a cornball. Hey man, when you talk that good stuff, you gotta back it up in the ring. So we gonna be tuned in to watch it, huh? We gonna tune
Yeah.
in to see if Jamel gonna cry. You know, think he gonna cry?
And see, that dude, hey, this could be a wake up call to him. Obviously, he knows the titles change hands tonight. So, man, when you just put in the good dudes against each other in that division, anything can happen. So, you just better be prepared for for a tough fight.
Sheldon Holmes said, Stormy B man, this fight was in the making, and Hurd really exposed himself because what everybody knew could happen, J Rock showed. And he also says that Stormy B man Dogboe should never have rematched Navarrete, whatever his name is. Well, for Sheldon Holmes, I think Broderick Hunter said it best, man. It was a replay. He thought he was watching, the first fight all over again. And Dogboe got beat up, knocked pillar to post, pounded on, and that was pretty much expected, especially since it happened the first time. It was like there was nothing going into this fight that made me think that Dogboe was going to be able to do something different and prevail. Nothing. Because he's such a little guy and he's always gonna be at a disadvantage. Now he's talking about moving up. Unless he carry a couple pistols in the ring with him, he ain't gonna beat nobody up there either.
See, I felt that way just because I knew he didn't. I just knew he didn't change anything as far as his preparations. He just probably felt, oh, I could just train harder this time, and I go in there and bulldoze and just kind of like muscle the dude around, knee ho, get on all this stuff. But nah, it's like he ain't changed anything, and I talked to you about the whole trainer situation, but he didn't change anything for that fight. So he got, his opponent said, hey, I could beat this dude even better next time, and that's what he did. Just whipped on him even more, got him up out of there, got him up out of there. Yeah, yeah, he can't move up at all. I'm looking at what Sheldon Holmes said. His mom got to see the ass whipping up close and personal. You know what? And I did point that out. I was surprised his mom. She stayed very calm when he got knocked down. That's a good thing, you know, because you'll see shit. Look how Jinky she be doing all this spell casting when her husband be winning the fight. Canelo mom be all crying when he winning the fight. So, she stayed calm. And that a fighter he will look he know where his moms and stuff is sitting at, so he'll look ringside and peep all that stuff out. But yeah, his whole family they stayed calm and they just gave it up. They gave that man props for winning that fight.
These guys are funny, man. Uh,
Yeah,
uh,
cracking on Dogboe.
yeah. Boxing conversations with Reggie Owen says Dogboe has to pursue other champs in the division. That moving up talk was some concussion talk. Yeah, Sheldon Holmes says Poe Hurd Mama got to witness that ass whooping front row. And Hustler Slim says Stormy B Man, Dog Bay looked like he was two weight classes smaller than the guy. It looked like when Rigo fought Loma. And Lowland Prophet says the only thing swift about this fight is Hurd's head snapping back from those uppercuts. Man, you guys are funny, man. Well, yeah, now's the time to make jokes and everything, because it's like, hey, man, the guy's on the losing end. That's what happens, you know. But that's also, give him some fuel so he can come back. Give him all of that like y'all gave what's the man that lost to Charlo with the uppercut? What's his name?
Oh, J Rock.
Lubin.
Oh, Lubin. Yeah, with the
Lubin and
yeah with the hook.
J Rock, when they got knocked out, y'all was all on them guys. But hey, it happens, man. That's when you get in there and you fight somebody and on paper he could beat you or you could beat him on any given night. This is what happens. This is what happens. Huh?
Damn, y'all gotta excuse me. I got neighbors got the big dog barking in the back. Like god damn. But yeah, yeah, man. I'm just happy for that dude, man. And just seeing him break down like that, it just shows the dude was humble and he just stayed confident in on himself and him and his team, they put in so much work. So it was just a good moment. Just seeing that. I want him just to go, but I just want him to stay on track also. You know what I mean? To me, I thought Hurd was kind of relaxed when he won that Lara fight. I want J Rock just to stay on his P's and Q's, and I think he will because he's not an undefeated fighter, so he knows, you can't be knocked off. So I think he gonna stay on his toes. Uh, Hey, Ramesses said Hurd over there looking like Kevin Hart pops after Steve whooped him.
Yeah. Well, see, Hustler Slim said, I'm a fan of Hurd and J Rock after tonight. I like them both. Yeah, see, that's what it is. You know what it is? You have to respect the man when he gets in there against someone that competes against him, And if he won fair and square, you take your hat off to him and say, hey, let's run it back. But that whole thing about like, oh, he gonna whoop his butt and this and that, and the fight don't ever happen and they never face each other. I'm not a fan of that mess. You got to get in that ring. You got to get in that ring and sort it out. That's how you find out who's the best. Anything else outside of that is pure speculation, man. And in boxing, you just never know. You can't tell me one person that thought that fight would go the way it did tonight. Not one person. Not one person saw that. You could have had a person that picked Hurd. You could have had a person that picked J Rock. You could have had them go with them for their own particular reasons or whatever. But you would have never been able to say that that fight would have ended up like it did. Because even me, I never saw that happening like that. I was very impressed as the rounds went on. And I was saying halfway through the third round or whatever, I was like, J Rock is fighting his ass off. Didn't I, Hyphy? I sent you that message.
Hell yeah, and
Yeah, that was like early in the third round. I was like, this guy, and the thing was, he never let up. He kept going. So it's not like Hurd got back into the fight. He was always out front. And I'm just glad that the judges' scorecards reflected that.
hey, people need to slow down with they're pretty much it's like they getting a get back if they Charlo fans laughing at Hurd. Oh man, ha ha ha. He pretty much showed that he was nowhere near ready for Charlo. Well, shit, y'all need to slow down because it wasn't funny when your man Charlo got robbed. And second of all, just because J Rock went out there and did that, that don't mean Charlo would have went out there and did that. Last time I checked, Charlo wasn't fighting that smart. So yeah, y'all can't leech onto a win when somebody else went in there and put in the work.
And another thing, it ain't like Harrison can't punch too. So Jamel better be careful, in that rematch going out there because he mess around and run into one of Harrison's right hands and he can get knocked out his damn self.
Hell yeah, you never know. What if Harrison come out trying to be more aggressive? Because you got to be a dumb if you don't understand the purpose of this rematch is not for you to go out there and prove that the first fight was legit. No, the purpose of the rematch is for that man to get his belt back. That's the real purpose, the sole purpose of the rematch. So, like I said, if you smart, if you're not Danny Jacobs, if you actually a smart fighter and you understand the cards are stacked against you, that man might go out there and just try to be more aggressive, try to land one of them hard knockout or at least a knockdown type shot. You never know. What
Or
if he
he
just
may
come
have
out
talked
fighting
all that
differently?
stuff at the press conference to get Charlo riled up so he'll come in there and be more reckless and be set up for a knockout. See, because he's like, you could get a guy off his game, right? And get him to come out of himself and you just be ready, huh? And lay your hands on him. That's all. Because it ain't like Harrison is like a pushover. He can box and he can punch. So we know this.
Yeah, and looking at the fight the way the first one went, hell, I mean, we would all say Charlie would be dumb to fight that way again, but if he does, shit, I would favor they would just go ahead and give it to Harrison again. Just saying, this dude he didn't change anything up, and I would think so. But like I said, you just never know how the fight's gonna play out. You just got to see the fight. But yeah, like me, I definitely think J Rock could beat Hurd again. That's what I do think.
Yeah.
Damn.
Man, that sounds like a big dog, man.
Yeah, and that's not even that's next door. It's not even over here.
Damn. You better make sure your doors is locked. Shit.
Hey, I need to I need to take some of him and give him to Down Jacobs because he ain't got no dog in him.
Man, that's what is that, like a German Shepherd or something?
Nah, they got a Rottweiler next door.
Oh,
He also sound like a it sound like a bear.
man.
And I got the window like closed too, so like
Uh,
yeah, I can't do much more unless I go throw him like I don't know a edible or something to knock him out.
Damn. Yeah, so Hyphy, I know you got some other things to do, man. You want to go ahead and give some final words on tonight's broadcast and of boxing and everything, or
Yeah. My bad. Yeah. I just wanted before we get up out of here. Yeah, I'm gonna just say, like I've been telling people throughout the stream, man. Look, it's tonight. It was a good fight, and to me, this fight was kind of slept on, but it's also going to be some fights next week. It's going to be just like this. So I said, it's 3 fights y'all should look to next weekend. That Taylor Baran shit, that Inouye versus Roman, that's the unification. And then, of course, the Wilder Brazil fight. So you just catch these fights. I know everybody ain't only going to be talking about the Wilder Brazil fight, but that's not even going to be like the only, good fight next weekend. So like I say, it's 3 good fights next weekend. Catch these fights that the people not talking about. Them is the good fights.
yeah. Well, I know I'm looking forward to next week. I'm not gonna get too far ahead of myself because I'm just like I'm gonna enjoy this weekend's boxing for the majority of the week. I know that till we get to weigh in day or maybe something like that. But man, I'm just happy that these guys put on a performance like they did, and that the scoring and judging was great, and that the post fight was great by both camps. Great representation of self and the individuals, who participated. I love that. I love to see that in the sport, and we need so much more of that, and we need to talk about that more. We need to support that more. You know, um, this is what boxing is all about, man. This weekend's cards. Uh, Only thing I like to say is for Dogboe. I know we laughed and we kind of we kind of ripped him a little bit, but the guy is so small, man. I don't see him being very successful because that is a tremendous disadvantage for him. And this sport, he's very limited. It doesn't look like he have a lot of skill. He's been beating people up until this point with physicality and strength, but they weren't on his level. Now he's moved up to championship level, and there are other fighters out there primed and willing to do a number on him. So if he doesn't invest in another trainer to help his dad out, his dad has probably taken him as far as he can go. Now, with some other training, it's possible he could thrive a little longer, but if he doesn't make that type of adjustment in his camp first, it's going to be over for him.
Yeah, I already know what type of dude Dogboe was. Like y'all always had that dude, the running back in high school. He was like kind of stocky, short, buff dude, probably just bench press a lot of stuff. Used to squat a lot, but then he go play basketball. Y'all bust his ass on the basketball court because he just rely on physicality. He was short. That's the type of dude Dogboe is, man. You know, he just, man, he thought he was gonna be able to just to out physical and boss around with them dudes. Nah, he got smashed on twice, and I said, yeah, that knockout was gonna come. It definitely came. Came in that 12th round, got him up out of there, put his ass down. But I think the lesson of tonight was the loss, the look, dudes could lose, you could come back. You know what I mean? Sometimes taking that loss, it'll make you better. You can come back from a loss. You can come back better from a loss. That's what J Rock proves to the people. That dude told you on his post fight presser. Yeah, I mean, in ring presser. Dude came back from that loss. Showed y'all that's what it's about. Been grinding hard. He came back. Proud of that dude.
Yeah, absolutely. And as far as Berchelt, man, I think that the guy fought a great fight. He did away with the old man, and now he's proven that it's his time to reign. And I want to see him again. And hopefully he can get out there and fight some good opponents and maybe begin to unify. But I love his left hook. And when fighters got great left hooks, man, it usually can carry them places. And I want to see it. So that's what I got to say about him. But
Y'all y'all up in the chat, you know what I'm saying? We appreciate y'all hanging out. Couple hours after the fights, y'all look forward to Stormy B Man. He do the Friday night chop session, so that's as soon as 78 goes off. So it'll be what is that 9 p.m. Eastern time, 8 p.m. Central time. Pretty much when 78 goes off, y'all check him out on that. And then of course the Three Wise Men. That's with Stormy B Man and Kurt. Everybody know Kurt, and also Scrapbook Boxing. So yeah, that's on Saturday mornings. That's at 11 a.m. Eastern time, 10 a.m. Central time. So just if y'all want to hear some boxing, but at the same time y'all don't want to hear the same stuff everybody else talking about, that's two streams for y'all to check out. We all love boxing. Obviously, we all happy with what happened tonight, but it ain't no need to be doing 3, 4 live streams a day, streaming for like 6 hours a day. Nah, people bringing y'all two streams and covering everything in boxing and boxing. Not all the BS that come with it. Ain't no need for no no 3, 4 live streams every day of the week.
yeah, and guys, I also, I'll drop videos on upcoming fights and things like that and give like a little picks and pans on it and, give a little take of what I see and how I see a fight shaking out. But I don't try to flood the market with a lot of material, just enough stuff to keep people aware that there's something going on. And I try not to just talk about the same old material that everybody else is talking about. I usually bring a coach's angle to what I do and what I have to say. I don't talk about the pockets. I don't talk about the material possessions or what's going on in their personal lives of reality TV and all of that. I keep it real playing with the sport. So that's my angle, and that's not a slight against anyone else. It's just that I stay in my lane. So that's how I bring it. And if you guys like that type of content, it's always there and available for you. And I encourage you to kind of go back and look at some of the stuff that I have shared because you might find it interesting. From time to time, my material it's worth the while, and then every once in a while you'll see a little funny tidbit in there or something too. So just come on in and Stormy B Man channel and give me a little love and support because I'm out there and I support the other channels too. So with that being said, I like to say shout out to the LDBC Lions Den Boxing Community, New Media, Liberated Perspective, a third eye view of the world. And this is Stormy B Man for my brother Hyphy. We want to say salute to the chat, everybody that joined us this evening for the post fight comments. And we'll see you soon. Peace.
Peace.